Did that work?
Yeah, we're both on now. So thanks for coming along, everyone, to this webinar about how to improve your landing page conversions. I'm Christina, and I'm a content manager for Soldo, which is a fintech. And in my spare time, I run ContentUK, which is a community to support content marketers. So I'm quite excited to be joined by Olly Meakings today, who runs RoastMyLandingPage. And with that, he basically analyzes different people's landing pages. He's gone through over 150 and tells them how to improve to increase their conversions. So he's a real expert, and I'm excited to have him on board today. It's a bit of a run through of how the workshop will work. Olly will speak for about 15-20 minutes, offering different tips that he's learned along the way about how to improve your landing page conversions. And then he'll also deconstruct examples of landing pages that work really well and show what it is that makes them convert compared to other pages. For the second half, he'll then analyze attendees' landing pages. So if you post your URLs for any pages you want roasted by Olly in the questions section, in the second half, he'll go through those and give you some tips. So throughout the presentation, if you just go to the questions section at the bottom throughout and put any URLs that you want him to analyze and any questions that you have for Olly in general about landing pages, and he'll answer them in the second half. Olly is also offering $50 off to any attendees and registrants off of his services for the next 10 days as well, which is very kind of him to offer. And before I pass over to Olly, just a little bit more about ContentUK if you're new here. So as I mentioned, we're a community supporting ambitious content marketers. We have a Slack community so you can connect with other content marketers, and lots of webinars like this one from experts who are at the top of their craft. And you can see more about that at contentuk.co. That is enough from me. I will now pass over to Olly, who will start his workshop.
Great, thank you very much. Lovely to meet you all. I can see some of you chatting in the chat room, which I really enjoy. So please do give me some feedback throughout. As Christina said, I am a freelance marketer who also likes roasting landing pages in my spare time. And what I do is look for opportunities to increase conversion. And what I'm talking about here is taking the existing visitors to the site and getting more of them to become customers. So what I'll talk you through today is some of the best practice, which you can apply universally, regardless of the industry or the nature of your audience. And then I'm going to flip it a bit, and rather than roast, I'm going to showcase some great sites that you can learn from. And then I'm going to hang around and roast as quickly as possible as many landing pages as possible with personalized feedback. So that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to share my screen now because that's where my presentation is. So let's just see if this works. Can you let me know if you can see that? I think that's come through. It works, great. Also, just so you know, we have no video on you guys, right? So don't worry about your video or audio. We're just getting you through the chat room. If you want to engage with us, use the questions or the chat. Right, cool. So make landing pages that really convert. So many new customers, you'll have to work weekends. And ultimately, that is the objective here. It's to take more people who are already visiting your website and do a better job at turning them into customers, paying customers ideally. So just very quickly, if you like what you hear today, you can follow me on Twitter, which is Hello, it's Olly, and I'm sharing resources on there too. And my website dedicated to landing page conversion is called RoastMyLandingPage. Please do check it out if you like. And finally, I'm a freelance digital marketer and I run courses that help founders get their first 100 users. So you can look at my site there too if you feel like it. I just want to say I am, or one of us will be sending over the slides, so you don't need to make notes. just focus on asking relevant questions. I mean, you can make personal notes, but you don't need to replicate what I've written here because it's coming over to all of you. So 4%, this is our starting point. Google tell us that 4% of visitors from search convert into customers. Now, obviously, it depends on the industry, and it really does vary quite a lot. But what we know is that if 100 people turn up on your site, it wouldn't be unusual for 96 of them to do nothing apart from leave or potentially drop an email or a follow. So what we're looking at is how we can increase that percent, obviously, and also identify the people that are leaving and see if there's something we can do to increase or up their awareness of us or re-engage them later. So a great starting point, a really basic sort of beginning is, what am I converting at? What am I turning a visitor? At what percent am I turning visitors into customers? So if you're below 4%, we really want to work on that to lift that up. So tip number 1, focus on benefits, your product benefits rather than your features. So rather than saying the features that your product has, talk about the benefits they'll get through using those features. A bad example would be to say, I'm a content writer. A good example is, you can generate more relevant leads through my content. So you need to be thinking about the visitor. They're thinking, what's in it for me? They might not be thinking it explicitly, but it's certainly there subconsciously. So we're trying to focus on the benefits they'll get from using your product. Traditionally, we're going to use a heading to talk about the benefits, and then maybe the subheading focuses more on the features or the processes or the philosophies that help them do that. Now, not everyone loves this benefits versus feature chat. There's lots of debate on it, but ultimately we're trying to evoke a response which is like, I want that. That's what's in it for me. So think, does my landing page talk in terms of benefits? Number 2, the visitors. Now, this isn't even on your landing page, but we need to think, who is currently coming to my site? Where did they hear about me? What did they hear? If they've come from search and you paid for a visitor on certain search terms, do not send them to a landing page that doesn't use those search terms. If they're being referred from someone on another website, are you sending them to a page where the message on your website is consistent with what they've been told, the context in which they're arriving in? Imagine the journey from the ad or the referrer onto your landing page. It needs to feel connected. So that's something to really consider, because if you're starting to pay a lot or put a lot of money into acquisition, you really, really need to be getting this right, because you can't be paying £2, £3, £4 per visitor and they land up on a different experience than what they anticipate from what they saw in the ad. Lots of people won't do this. They use one landing page for everyone. It's normally the homepage. You're going to lose a lot of money and you're going to not convert. So consider where the people are coming from. The objective, this is the fun one. So many people I speak to say, oh, I want them to do this, or maybe this, and maybe a bit of this. You need a landing page to have one objective. So everything on that page is working towards making that objective happen. We call that the call to action. It's what you want them to do. Do you want them to pre-register? Do you want them to sign up? Do you want them to book an appointment? Every word, every image, every testimonial, every asset on your landing page needs to point towards that objective. At this point, I realize I've left a slide out, which was speed. And speed is a very interesting one, because it's not as fun, obviously, as changing an image or touching up a button. But if your website or landing page is slow, you will see a decrease in conversion. We can't physically see speed, we feel it more, but your users will click off or drop out of the experience of browsing your site if it is too slow, particularly on mobile where the connections may not be as strong. So make sure today you get a speed checker out and just check if your site is loading quickly. At this point, I just want to check in and say, is this making sense to people so far? I'm just going to check the chat. Yup, that's from It Works. Okay, cool. Thank you, Veronica. Content's great. Let's keep going. Okay, objective. Testimonials, right. So obviously testimonials are other people, users, endorsing your product, your service. Here's the thing. The philosophy here is that it's a third party that doesn't really have an incentive to lie. So although we are quite jaded, testimonials are quite good at saying, you know what, you can trust this company. And here's my top tip for testimonials. Make sure the language of the testimonial is consistent with what you're describing as the feature or benefit of your company. So frequently I see testimonials that say things like, oh, I love it, and the team are really friendly, but nowhere else on the page have they ever referred to the friendliness of the team as a selling point of this product. So if you're saying you're going to save people time, make sure your testimonial says they saved me time. If you're going to save people money or frustration, use those same words again, because people are going to skim your page and need to see these things consistently. As well as that, we can make testimonials a lot more powerful by using tweets, which feel a lot more authentic if you embed them, or video testimonials where I can feel this sort of emotion more powerfully. So use testimonials, but keep them short, keep them focused on your benefit, and tell them in a more vivid way or format. Audio, video, tweet. Remove friction, right? So when a user lands on your web page or your landing page, I always like to use this analogy for what's going to get them to convert. You have your page here, you have their desire to go through your page, which increases with good testimonials, it increases with good copy. So the intent increases, but you have friction, and that friction is confusion over what's going to happen. It's doubt about whether or not you're the right service or the right service for right now. So these two forces are pushing in different directions. Look at your landing page and say, what is working to increase conversion and what is working as a friction, and how can we remove it? So you need to put your feet in their shoes or your mind in their own, and you need to start thinking, what might they be worried about? Are they worried, is this legit? How do I implement this tool? Who founded this company? Am I going to lose my money? And then use the language that puts those doubts or that friction to bed. You know, we need to remove that to unlock the opportunity to convert. There's so many different ways to do that. But just play around with what they might be thinking and preempt it. Use you. Okay, so the word you, it's just a power word. There's lots of theories around persuasive writing, but the one that I always suggest is just using the word you, because when people read you, they think me. So you is a power word, use it in your headline. A bad example is Slack brings the team together wherever they are. And a good example is Slack brings the team together wherever you are. So it's like me and my team. So appeal to people's desire to be spoken to in a human way. I know this is a tense thing or something, but I'm not good on grammar. I just know you need the word you in there. And this is one of my favorites. And sorry if I'm plowing through these too quickly, but I think the real world examples illuminate them. You need to ask people if they're not converting. I sometimes work with clients in my professional capacity on landing page conversion, and they say, fix my landing page. I don't know why it's not converting. And of course, I am here implementing and giving you ideas for best practice. But the truth is, until we ask users that didn't convert why they didn't convert, and users who did why they did, how are we learning and using that information to inform these decisions? So really simple thing you can do, really painless. Just get an exit intent form. It's one of those obnoxious forms that pops up as you're about to leave a website. And in it, just say, why aren't you booking today? Or why didn't you sign up? And give them choices like, I'm just comparing solutions, or it's too expensive for me, or I'll be back. And use that just data there to inform any changes about the messaging or the imagery or the copy on your site, or the types of modules you use. Let's keep going. Quantify. So lots of people have these amazing stats and insights as part of their business. that they don't use, and instead they make sort of wishy-washy statements in the copy. So an example is saying something like, you'll save time with our tool, which is nice, but what about saying our average customer saves 15 hours a week? Or using a stat to quantify the problem. So 55% of people prefer to buy over the phone. I'm making these stats up, but what I'm saying is they illuminate the size of your problem and your benefits through numbers. And that is a more powerful way to use copy to translate points. I've had customers who have had, or clients, I should say, who've had 10,000 customers. But on their site, you wouldn't know that because they haven't said we have 10,000 happy customers or 5,000 five-star reviews. Use quantification of big numbers to relay the sort of power of the achievement, or you get the idea. Okay, I'm sure you'll work it out. Right, so use cases. Now, lots of landing pages I land on, really difficult for me to think, how does that work for me? I get this tool is useful, and this tends to be quite functional landing pages. So what I see is something like turn a website into, turn a spreadsheet into a website. And I'm like, okay, I want a website and I could do it from a spreadsheet, but how does it really benefit me? I'm a digital marketing person. So some people use cases, use it as a marketer, use it as a small business owner, use it as a local shop owner, use it as a freelancer, and all of the different roles within that. But really, if you've got lots of use cases and lots of personas, lots of different potential buyers, make different landing pages. If you were sat in a room and you had 10 people of different walks of life that could all find value in your product, you wouldn't go to each one of them and do the same pitch. You would customize that pitch to each person to make it really clear of the benefits for them. So why are we expecting people that we worked really hard to get onto our website to sit there and do the math, like, how does this work for me? So consider that when you're talking to users and expecting them to say or work out how it works for their use case. Okay, let's see how many more I've got. Video. So here's the thing. Everyone knows video is great for conversion. You can relay a lot of information quickly. People can understand your personality, your passion. So that's awesome. But we don't often use video, or when we do a really crappy job of it. And the reason is people miss the absolute basics. You know, you need good light. You need to keep it short. You need good audio and just slightly structured. That's it. Keep it short, 60 seconds. Make sure the light's on your face. And try video. You can relay so much more personality in a 60-second video than probably you can in a 1,000-word essay. So use video, try video, be brave, put yourself out there. Trust. And trust is really the bedfellow with removing friction. So they're kind of the same things. They're doing this dance, but you need to build trust. And trust is the use of certifications, endorsements, meeting the founders, current client logos, not necessarily testimonials, but just the logos, case studies, anything that really makes me think, you know what, I trust these people. These people are people that I believe when they tell me that they will deliver this benefit or solution. Show, don't tell. So I love this one actually, and it will come up in one of the pages I'm about to roast. Show, don't tell is really focused on demonstrating your product rather than telling people what's in your product, which is always abstract. You tell me your product does this, but I want to see it. And the more granular I can see it, the better. So an animation or a great screenshot is good. Letting me log in straight away and almost feel the product as a potential user is even better. Any interactivity, any sort of first step into your product is going to be better than giving me a written description of what your product does. So think about, am I showing them what this does, or am I just telling them? I don't want to use my imagination. I've got a good one, but I don't want to use it to try and work out how your product's going to work for me. Show me. Right, okay, we're just switching over now to the first example that I wanted to show, and this is software as a service website called MemberStack. And the other example I'll do after that is more for freelancers or thought leaders or marketers, writers. It's really focused on a person. So stay tuned for that one. But what I need to do is switch over. Let me just see what everyone's saying, because I need to switch anyway. Am I echoing for everyone? Or is the audio okay? Okay, great. And we've got lots of landing pages coming through. Okay, let me just switch to screen share. So what I'm going to do quickly is just go through this page, and I'm going to point out what I thought was something I would consider good for conversion. But this is a really great page, especially with show, don't tell. So I'm going to show you that now. Can you just confirm to me you can see the member stack slide in the... Yeah, cool. Thanks for telling me, everyone, what's going on, because I can't see it all. Right. So member stack, beautiful user accounts and payments for any website. So a heading that's slightly emotional and just focused on user accounts for any website. Add secure user accounts, members only content, and Stripe payments to any website. Launch in minutes, not months. They don't actually use the word you here, which I would like to hear. But things I really loved was this visualization here, which really shows me people going through the flow on the website. And if I click here, this animation actually updates and just really powerfully relays that story of what's happening. I thought this was absolutely awesome. If I click here, it shows how you can accept members and then have a checkout. The call to action here is get started for free. And underneath, they've done something to reduce friction. They've said no credit card required. Another option is to say free trial, 17 days, 20 days. Another option is to say 10 people join today. But the point is they're removing friction or increasing desire with this tiny little element. And that's good signposting as well of what to expect. It's going to be a form, but I'm not going to need to put my credit card in. Love it. 3.5 million in recurring revenue earned by member stack customers. So here, there's an issue here. But here, what I really loved was the use of these numbers to capture the story well. We could say we're helping our customers make millions, but I preferred that. That you could say our sites are secure with good uptime, but I like the number. It's powerful, it's engaging. And what they've decided to do with testimonials is, one, they're short. Two, they highlight the bit they really want you to read. But most importantly on this one, they've really just dumped hundreds on there. And they've taken the concept of testimonials and run with it and just said, look, we've got thousands of happy customers. Now, in terms of social proof or increasing desire, they've also been the #1 product of the day on Product Hunt, which is really respected by people. If you're upvoted there, you're considered a leader potentially in the field. So that's a great credibility and desire increaser. We've got a nice little flow of how it works. And again, we lead into features. And what's great here is this. Once again, I can just customize it live. I was mega impressed when I saw this, and straight into a demo. So some of the implementation here I thought was really well done in terms of increasing conversion. And finally, something that does work very well is to have the call to action again at the bottom and throughout. So you'll notice they always say get started or get started for free. The call to action is consistent and it's throughout the page. So that minute when I'm like, right, I want this, I click it and I'm into a sign up flow where you have to optimize as well, but I won't do that one today. But trust me, optimization isn't just on the first page, or conversion optimization. Right. So I'm going to check in with your comments again. Then I'm going to switch to another example. So can anyone, can you see me now, or can you see the shared screen? I'm interested to know what everyone's looking at. Okay, great. Does anyone have any questions for where we are at so far? We're not long off doing your roasts, but let me just show you one more page that I really liked. Any questions at this point?
It doesn't seem to be uploaded yet, Ollie. Okay.
I think it's memberstat.com. I mean, certainly if you Google it, it will come up. Oh, I see there's questions here as well. Okay, you're all just submitting your landing page. Right, I'm going to go on to one more. Just let me know if you can see this clearly in a moment. Don't worry, I'm switching to it now, I think. Do you see this? Yeah, cool. So this one I thought I would use simply because this is an individual, and ContentUK obviously is working with lots of digital content people, marketers, strategists, and so it might be a more familiar landing page if you're an individual who is a freelancer who wants to drive business through your website. So Elise Dobson, it's a really nice website. What we've got here is just a really clear, I'm Elise, I write about sales and marketing for B2B software as a service companies. I'll help you create blog posts, ebooks, and white papers that drive pre-qualified traffic for your sales team to scoop up. And what was interesting to me here was yes, maybe we're talking about what she does and who she is first, but she's really then driven in the message, you know, it's about generating leads for your sales team. Yes, it's going to be great content. Yes, I'm smart and I know what I'm doing, but most importantly, I'm going to generate you more relevant leads that will make your business more money. And ultimately, everyone who works in content marketing works in the framework of trying to generate new customer leads. And then what I really enjoyed is that she's worked with multiple leading companies, familiar companies. So I was immediately like, okay, she works for HubSpot, Hotjar. These are tools I use. And this person knows what they're doing. Continuing down, this was quite interesting. Struggling to scale your content marketing strategy, don't have enough time to dedicate to long form content, can't find a writer. This is a type of module that I refer to as helping people understand the pain and showing empathy. If I'm on this site and I'm reading that, I'm like, yes, 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 you're talking about me. And so first you're helping me clarify my own pain. And then you're saying, well, here is the solution. It's your lucky day. You found me. So I really love that as a flow. And sometimes people don't know they've got a problem until you explain it to them. And they're like, someone's reading my mind. So that's to do with the buying cycle as well. Is the person educated yet? Something to think about. What do they know and how do they consider their problem? But I love how she did that there. And then what she did that was amazing was showed me a specific blog post that is generating an absolute ton of traffic to the client's website, over 3,800 people. And the organic traffic value is $23,000 using a tool, I think it's like Ahrefs or something, to quantify that. So again, it's quantified rather than just like lots of people are visiting or it's popular. And here we have a really long testimonial from someone at HubSpot. Personally, I thought it was a bit long, but I did think it was a great testimonial. And this is just a few of the facets on this landing page that I really enjoyed. Going back into who she is further down rather than putting that all at the top was a great move too, because I've kind of warmed up as I go down the page, understanding the credibility, understanding the work style, understanding the benefits. But now I'm kind of like, okay, is this going to be someone I want to work with? And she loves photo booths and so do I, and she loves tea, so do I. Okay, I'll give her a ring. She's got rid of the most important doubts and demonstrate the most important benefits and then gone into the softer stuff. And here's what she's done for the 96 out of 100 who will not convert. She's created a asset, a mailing list that will keep her on your radar. So I put my details in there. I'm going to get tips every now and then. And when I am in the buying need, when I'm in that part of the cycle where I'm like, I really need someone right now, her email pops in and I get on the phone. So that's a good example of how you can appeal to the 96% of people that aren't ready to convert but are relevant. So love this. Well done to this person. You should be very proud. Right, that was quite patronizing. Let's go on to your roasts. Oh, she's here. No, it's funny because Elise is in here if I'm saying that right. Yeah, she said thanks for including me. That's all right. So look, I've even made a slide just dedicated to saying that I'm going to roast now. So I hope you appreciate it. But what I want to do is just start roasting, and I'll get through as many as I can until we get bored. So Christina's going to tell me them basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Ollie. Lots of super actionable tips in there.
Yeah, great.
There are so many people that have been posting their URLs. So let's... I was going to say my URL actually, so to start off with.
Yeah, that's great.
ContentUK.co.
So let me just switch to...
Very basic website, but let's see what you've got to say.
So just... so I'm sharing that now. Have you guys got that?
Yeah.
And just to frame a few things is obviously it's all good spirited, but I will be very honest about what I think. So hopefully, you know, people just take it in the spirit it's intended and try and identify the opportunities and focus on them. Do not turn this into months worth of work and amends. Look for obvious opportunities, implement them, measure, and continue. So that's my suggestion, rather than kind of create a mammoth blocker of a task that's going to take you months and you're not going to learn anything. So flourish as a content marketer. Join a community of curious minds. Welcome to ContentUK. This community aims to help you connect with similar folk, grow as a content marketer, and learn from the best in their crafts. You'll find some resources including... Okay, cool. So I actually like the copy, and I do like the concept of flourishing as a content marketer, or getting ahead, or chatting with, or improving your career via a community. But what I want here is, rather than being presented with lots of options, just being told, like, what's my immediate thing to do? Because at the moment there's a long list and you're introducing quite a lot of cognitive load, like, where do I go first? We like to think of lots of choices good, but in landing page conversion, it's actually more similar to analysis paralysis. What do you want me to do now? So actually, I would start with getting people onto the newsletter. Then at that point, you've got their email address and you can remarket everything else. Second, well, I should just comment that I'm not a big fan of the typography in that logo, and I think it looks too juvenile. And I like that, because I know you, I know that you're fun and lighthearted, but I just don't like it. On the right, I need an image or a video or something to tell me your story. The text is great for simplicity, but a great video or image can actually compound that message and help you tell it even more powerfully. And I think you're a good example of someone who could just film a short 30-second video and would be able to relay so much energy and so much empathy for the persona that you could get more people to convert quite quickly. I like that you've got the strong call to action here. But what I would also start to look at is how each of these work as their own individual landing pages. So when I go to the Slack page or the weekly newsletter, how does each one really work effectively, and then drive people into those relevant pages? But this is not a terrible landing page. There's just, it's not bad, it's just not good. It doesn't have anything particularly great or distinct that makes me think I need this. In terms of quantification, I think you could say, like, we have this many members, or 20 members joined this week, or, you know, our members are 80% this and 20% that based on a survey that you've run. So there's lots of things that you can do here to quantify the value you're getting. I'd also really love a testimonial just from someone in the industry, just saying it's, and remember, the message has to be consistent. So I've connected with so many similar folk. That is the same language, as you're using, and therefore the testimonial will back that up and offer a third party's opinion. So that's that. I think maybe your strong call to action is the Slack thing. Fine, then join our Slack, and then underneath it you put, or review our job board, review our workshops and webinars, or sign up for the newsletter. Let's just quickly have a no. I'll stop now.
There's so many actionable things I can do from that. Thank you very much, Olly.
No worries, and it's all for testing, right? So remember, the mentality we want to adopt is to test and try, and if it works, then fantastic, continue to iterate, and if it doesn't, we can always revert back. So it's about that mentality.
Awesome.
Let's do another one.
Okay. So we've got the first one here from Forbes is rollingversions.com.
Oh wow, how do you spell it?
ROLLING VERSIONS.com.
Okay, tell me if that's coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through this. Rolling versions, add change sets to pull requests automatically released with change logs. So I think this is a developer tool. Submit a pull request. When your developers submit a pull request, rolling versions ask them to describe the changes. Okay. So it augments with your kind of push pull request. Okay. Install. Well, I will tell you one thing. It's got a really clear call to action here. And here you've used the same language, the same styles. And that's one thing that's really important. I would say that it's quite a brave design. And it's not to my taste, but traditionally, I would say the logo is making it about you. You're using a third of the real estate to talk about or show your logo rather than talk about me and my problem. And again, so maybe reconsider that, but I do think you've gone for a particular aesthetic, so I'm not going to blame that. Again, you could use something under install. Is that a free install? How big is the file? How many people have downloaded it recently? Just give me something so to just push me through. It looks like it connects to GitHub, so maybe you could just, secure by GitHub or connect through GitHub. Add change sets to your pull requests or your team's pull requests. Another one that isn't very visual, so you're telling me what I see, and you've done it quite clearly here, but what you're not doing is showing me. This would be perfect for a short animation or video that would just showcase that process. When you're doing something like this, another thing to consider is a before and after module. What is life like without your product? Life without your product is poor explanation of the changes that have been made. With it, it's, everyone's got this plain English description, beautiful change log, ugly change log. Look, I don't know too much about this persona, but I feel obviously that you do, but you're not articulating how useful or how much pain this product removes. So that's something to consider. Okay, next one. Hope that was useful, by the way, whoever that was.
Okay, next one here is from Rick. And his website is siteguru.co.
Okay. Well, I think I've got the spelling right. Tell me if this is the Smart SEO Audit Tool. Okay. I think this is the one. Okay, Site Guru, the Smart SEO Audit Tool. Improve your site, boost your rankings. Okay, start website audit. It's free, no credit card required, and there's a visual here. I think I'm familiar with this site. Maybe we've connected before. Check all pages for SEO issues. Audit your website. Optimize your site structure. Made for marketing agencies. Cool. Let's just keep going very quickly. Site Guru for free. The pricing. Okay, cool. Right. So immediately, oh God, right. It's very long. Long landing pages can be effective, but should definitely be tested against landing pages that have a much more concise way of relaying. Some people like to almost be harassed as they go down the page and the same point told over and over again. And every doubt is sort of put to rest. Others just prefer concise, big call to action. But what it has surprised me is you've got these great ratings up here from Capterra and these other platforms, and you've got these testimonials, but I don't see them up higher on your page, I don't think. I mean, I forget because it's so long. But if they were here, I've immediately got that credibility. The thing that I do enjoy is that yours your call to action is very good, right? There's a call to action here, sign up. That's not good. But this one here, where I type in the URL and my email, I'm expecting to immediately get a result back, which could not be more gratifying. I didn't have to click to get to your form. You've got me immediately. And this is, again, a show, don't tell. Start website audit. It's free, no credit card required. So we do have a good example there of how you can remove friction. I can try it. I'm not going to have to get my credit card out and then forget to cancel, and all of a sudden I get a 50 quid bill. It happens all the time, right? This is not particularly good at identifying what your unique selling point is. Improve your site, boost your rankings. It's a little bit generic in this space. I would really highlight what you do better than everyone else, because this is a very crowded space. If you're in a crowded space with really well-known tools like SEMrush and Ahrefs, who are making a ton of money and have 10 times the resources of a startup, have a think about what you can do, how you can be more niche, and how you can be more valuable by specializing in one particular area. I've got more thoughts for this, but I need to go on to another one. So let's do that.
Great. Just a question, actually, before I go to the next one, because those your suggestions and good websites look really nice. Which landing tools would you recommend somebody use? They're not particularly knowledgeable about coding, and also if they can't build it themselves, is there any outsourced resources you'd recommend?
Sure. So first of all, even if you're a good developer, and it was a great question. So even if you're a good developer, my suggestion to you is uncouple your app development and your landing page development, because landing page development needs to move quickly, and it needs to be iterated on, and it needs to be done by the whole team. So what you don't want to be doing every time you change your landing page is waiting for the developer who's already working on the app product. So traditionally, whether you can or can't develop, hand code a website, I do recommend using a tool. So this comes up a lot with solo founders who are developers who really love to keep everything under their control. I say think again about that, because landing page builders are built by people like you who want to do the best at it, and they dedicate their whole life to it in the way you do to your product. In terms of the tools, I'm really a big fan of Fasoli, and I'm a big fan of Unicorn Platform, which someone else has mentioned. Fasoli has quite good speed times, which does help. And it's very easy to just do something quite distinct, and it's quite editable. There's quite a lot of options there. Unicorn Platform is a little bit less, there's a little bit less freedom, but it's really managed as you build through it. So that means you can make a beautiful landing page with it. The spelling of Fasoli is Versoly. I can see some of the chats here. Oh, great. So you can, and I would always say get the landing page there to about 80% and then launch it. Do not spend months working on a landing page. Just get it out there. That's when you start to learn. That's when you start to basically educate yourself about what does and doesn't work and improve. Cool.
Thank you. That's very, very useful for anyone not sure how to go about designing one. Okay, let's scroll down here. We've got one from Bruno, which is beinformed.app. So that's beinformed.app.
Like a bumblebee?
Yeah.
.app. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, is it B-double-E?
Oh, he said, sorry, he did actually say, please include www in front. Don't ask me why.
Okay, fine. Let's try that. So I do love this moment where I see a URL. It comes through RoastMyLandingPage, and I'm like, what am I about to see? So let's have a look at this, right? So be informed, create account, log in. Lots of customers won't give you their email, but we found a way to stay in touch. Yes, try it. Oh, okay, so I guess that presumably works on my phone right now. Extend your target audience, more returning customers, and we all know what that means. Dollars. Sorry. There's something about the phrasing, the rhythm wasn't quite right there. Don't let them slip away. If people hesitate to trade their personal data for what you offer, they are gone. You just missed them. No strings attached. Okay, look, I just need to tell you right now that I'm reading a lot of copy and I still don't really know what your customer does. If I scan that, do I get their details but not their email? So I shouldn't need to be this far into your page without knowing. I mean, do other people understand what they're seeing here? Because for me, I'm a bit like, oh, what's going on? Okay, cool. So just see if there's a concise way to get that right there at the top. Although I do like the way you said there's a pain, but we found a way. But traditionally, we'd have a call to action and a much clearer kind of explanation of what, you know, what you're actually doing. So how it works, create BQR for your shop. Okay. Okay. So you put that at the point of display and then the customer does that to follow your shop, but I'm not sure where. Is that on Twitter, Facebook? Is it a link of your choice? Or is it in your app? Anyway, a better way to show this would be framed in a shop with another person scanning it. And would it need to be on the device, or is this showing the device scanning? There's something here with the imagery and text that isn't telling the right story. So I would focus on that. I do like features just written as lists. It forces you to be a bit concise. And also, I think this visual, again, I'm confused by it, but I like the concept of using a visual to tell the story. So just to make it very clear, go back here and tell me who it's for, what it does, and why that's important. So small business owners can drive more business by increasing their mailing lists using Be Informed. Users, I don't quite get how because it's not email list, but I'm not sure how they're notified. But your big challenge here is just making that clear. So I won't roast too much more than that. Just start again, really, on that one. Next one.
Okay, the next one is from Becky Stevens.
Sure.
Which is multiply.io. So that's spelled multipli.io.
I think I've got that. Look, I'm not a big worrier about the brand in the early stages. I don't really come from a visual or aesthetic viewpoint in terms of conversion, and you can get those types of insight from other people, but that is a difficult domain name to type. Just FYI on that, and to recall with all those I's. FYI. Anyway, so spot opportunities to grow, build leadership muscle, request access, join our waiting list, request access, loads of logos. Okay, what I like about this is it's a short page, and I've seen quite a few long ones in the last few moments. I don't think you need this column layout. You need to move that over there, just because that is your major call to action. As well as that, you've got a lot of text here, but really, what's it for? Who's it for? What does it do? What's the benefit? Build leadership muscle is quite ambiguous. I would just have something like it helps you develop leadership skills to get ahead in your career. Coaching programs, podcasts. Okay, you can then drop into this kind of empathetic background, but personally, I find people over-explaining things on coming soon pages quite difficult to stomach, because I feel like it's a lot of empty promises. So some people do these very long form coming soon or request access pages, and I tend to not like that personally, but I don't know, you'd need to test it. What I would say is that your major call to action is that, so bring that there and clarify that by using that as a subheading. Just a note on legibility, it's easier to read sentence case than it is full capitalization for most people, because we look at the shapes of the words. So you might want to change that. And then I'm interested in these logos, but I just need a headline to focus on who they are, because I see some brands that I recognize. So tell me exactly what these logos represent. I think what you are is a product to help people in their careers continue in and excel in leadership roles. But I'm not even able to translate it from what I'm reading. Then again, I am on under a lot of pressure to get through all of your roasts. Yeah, there's some interesting quantification going on here. Leaders who rely on nudges have seen a 20% increase in their focus areas in just 6 months. So I think this might be that your product is something about nudging people daily with little tips to compound their personal growth. Why not use that quantified thing up here and then say something like multiply is the beautiful way to achieve increased performance in leadership roles, but use the stat to illustrate the effectiveness there. Action than your peers with a nudge, and just frame how you're affiliated with these organizations. Are these people who are testing it, or are these the types of people that should be using it? You probably just put some random logos on for now, which is fine, but if you build an audience, you know, the ethics of that get a bit more dodgy. If these are people that are deeply connected to what you're doing, you definitely want to clarify a little bit more, and that would be absolutely awesome if that's the case. Does anyone want to send another one? Unbounce as a landing page builder. Interesting question. First of all, it's a bit more expensive. So if you are spending only one landing page builder I didn't mention is Card, which is extremely cheap, like a couple of dollars a year. On the other side, you start getting up to things like Unbounce and Lead Pages. You're paying more like $60, $70 a month, which, you know, adds up if you're early stage. I like Unbounce, and they've engaged me a lot. They're really active in the community. What it's very good for is they have a large number of templates, first of all. So if you're not design led, you know, you've got a lot of starting points to quickly get something live. And the other thing, if I remember correctly, Unbounce is really focused on post-click. That means you can have lots of different landing pages based on what people searched and how they found your site, which keeps that site increases conversion. And they're using some really smart technology there. So I would definitely think of Unbounce as a nice player in the space, but just depends on your personal needs. Sorry, go on, give us another.
Okay, we've got another one here from Sunny. Boffin.ai.
Sorry, Poppin.
Boffin, BOFFIN.ai.
AI. Just to help you guys out, if you don't get roasted, obviously I've got lots of tips on my landing, on my blog, RoastMyLandingPage.com/blog, and they're more focused on sites doing things well. And I think, although I love roasting and tearing down, I'm also a big fan of basically ways to do things better. And I think you can learn more from that. So although I call it a roast, I'm really looking at suggestions. So let's look at this. Boffin, okay, it's a little puffin or whatever that's called. Beta sign up, harness the power of AI, personalized experience for every customer, sign up, learn more. So here you've got sign up, here you've got beta sign up. I know this is a very early stage company because it's in beta, but why not use a consistent call to action? Subconsciously, the user is confused by this. It takes them a millisecond to work it out, but that's more than you want to put on the user. By the way, this is really unspecific. This cannot resonate with anyone because no one comes here and goes, do you know what? I need a personalized experience for every customer. That's not how people think from in the persona world. When they land on a page, they're not thinking, yeah, every customer personal. What types of customer at what stage you're buying for what types of business? That's what you want to be framing in that headline. A good tip here as well is traditionally, it doesn't apply to this page, but traditionally, if you've got a lot of explanation of who you are, do not use equal size buttons. I mean, you've graded that one and that's good. What it's saying is click on sign up, don't learn more, but you can take that out of the box. You can minimize it. You can put it under the sign up. So there's something of note there. Your image background tells me nothing. It's kind of like vaguely, I mean, it's a circuit board or something, but it doesn't really tell anything. Demonstrate anything. Leverage AI in your data to power sales, no more guessing. Leveraging existing data to build relationships with your customers and boost revenue. Yeah, what sort of data am I doing? Okay. Oh, this happens quite a lot on solo founder or founder early stage pages. Is they have these really like amazing lines halfway through the page, but the way they try and think of their company is just too smart. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, okay. The data science team for solopreneurs or mediums, or I wouldn't, small, medium, it's too many, but the data science team for solopreneurs often is designed for solopreneurs. To introduce the best practice in data science into smaller organizations to generate more revenue. It's still very unspecific about what you actually do, and maybe you don't know yet. But what I would say is if you focused on one persona, it would click with me so much more. And I love the idea of, our tool is like a new team member. It's one click setup. That's good. Zero maintenance, but I still don't know what your tool is. What data am I giving you? What are you doing with that data? And what benefits am I going to see from sharing that data with you? Can I trust you to share that data? What form does that AI actually take? What is unique about what you do? So yeah, have a think. All right, on to the next.
Okay. We've hit the hour mark, but we can keep going if you're happy to, Ollie. Just let us know when.
Yeah, I'm happy to do more if people still want them.
Great. So got another one here from Aravind. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly there. StockTims.com.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, StockTims. Home services request login, an image. Right platform to achieve your dreams. Improve your trading strategies with our advanced platform. Discover. Why? Okay, what's discover? Goes down. Why choose StockTims? Powerful and advanced screener. Mix technical fundamental chart and candlestick pattern at one place. Okay, stocks, pattern recognition. Okay, cool. I would just say I don't know anything about this space at all, but there are some things I like and dislike immediately, or certainly opportunities I see. So first of all, I think that's a spelling mistake there. But first of all, I like the fact that you're focusing on what makes you different. So really double down on that. Presumably you're something to do with trading and buying stocks, but I'm guessing this is a very busy space. So really focus on what you do different. And it feels a little bit like you're doing that. However, the typography is quite small, which makes it a little bit hard to read. But I do like the feature or the benefit in line with the image. I'm a big fan of that personally. I also like that you've used tick boxes. Traditionally, we're looking here. Okay, look, just on form conversion, I think that might be interesting to people. If they're optional, probably say remove them. Every extra form increases friction and reduces the odds of them actually going on to complete that process, as well as that, what am I actually getting on this call? Be very clear, like book a call for this or book a meeting for this, and maybe show me who I'm meeting with, a nice picture and their name. And remember, in the early stages, if this is early stage, which I believe it is, you're optimizing for listening. So any value that you can give them to get them on a call is great. Once they're on a call, you can learn as much as you need to about things like what they're looking for that other people don't have. So that's something to consider. Traditionally, a good video should be above the fold. If it is great at telling your product story, I'm not even going to start to watch that, but it's 8 minutes, and I can tell you that's not good. You can do a 1-minute video and capture the same amount of information at the top. Check out the video as a poor call to action. It just says like, watch it. Maybe say like, focus on, again, in 60 seconds, learn how to increase your stock trading agility. I don't know what your tool does, but you can see here that there are certain things you need to do. Discover is a very odd call to action. It really isn't a call to action. I think what you want here is the booking of book a call with us. And if you're not yet launched, don't pretend you are, or don't be this when you're that. Just be upfront. We're looking for beta users, or we want to have a conversation with people. If you are launched, get a testimonial in there, get some accreditations in there. and just double down on the thing that makes you unique. I can't say that enough when you're in a crowded space, is that you're going to have to find a message that's going to get through the noise from people who have 10 times more money, 10 times more employees, 10 times more experience. So if you can't do that, you're going to struggle. Did anyone give any thoughts on this one in the chat? Just having a quick look. Good webinar, need to leave. Yeah, don't worry. If you need to go. I'm going to keep doing a few more, but please don't stay out of the British people are staying because it's awkward to leave early. I think you can, if you want more, you just need to follow me on Twitter. Hello, it's Olly, but I'll do a couple more roasts now if you're around.
3 more?
3 more. Okay, cool.
More.
Yeah, because then I need to get some ice cream.
Great idea. Okay, we've got one from Knox, which is abbysale.com, French company.
Oh yeah, let's have a look.
So it's abyssale.com.
Okay. Oh, nice. I think I've heard of you, or certainly a competitor. Right. Good one. Right. I don't know if that's pronounced Abyssale, but whatever. So automate banner production in minutes. Generate banners for social media and online advertising in minutes. No design skill required. Try for free. So I think your feature here is I maybe create one set of assets and you're going to make me multiple banners very quick. So unlike Canva, where I'd have to reorganize them, I think your USP is it's multiple banner production, but let me just check. So try for free, consistent, no testimonial, no ratings, no social proof, nothing there. But and this visual is nice in that it shows lots of different banners, but it doesn't tell me the story, which is why I'm still left with some doubt about what your tool actually does until I scroll down. So seamless marketing, a creative generation platform you can use to scale your visual marketing workflow. Okay, this is nicely visually executed, but I would say that this copy is a little bit buzzwordy bingo. Blazing fast banner creation. Our design algorithms generates in seconds eye-catching banners for your brands. Yes, so my question is it doing different variations of, like, what are the differences in the banner? Are you doing lots of variations so I can do split tests in my Facebook ads, or are you just making it so that I can use them in all different slots? Okay, take your visual marketing to the next level. Your banners, your branding. Set and forget brand guidelines. Nice. Okay, speed up your. Okay, so this is where I start to say, okay, what you're doing is you're facilitating A/B testing, which will get me a better return on investment in my advertising. It just took a little bit long, I think, to get to that point. Render. This is a more interesting image for the top, right? Because what it's showing me is you've got a control and the system is rendering multiple image forms for that. And what you can do here, if this is something you want to demonstrate, is obviously you haven't used the product shot, and that's right. You can use shots from the product amalgamated or curated to tell the story. Maybe you could just add here like 42 images generated in 4 seconds or 20 seconds, right? Just to tell that story a bit more. Built for all company sizes. I personally don't like this type of messaging. What it says to me is you're not for me. I'm inferring from it, but it's a bit like, okay, yeah, I'm a startup, but if you're really built for agencies too, are you going to have the right pricing for me? If you're more about content creators, then maybe I should find someone who's just content creators, not e-commerce. But I'm not saying that I just personally don't like that module. And if I was sending search traffic to it, I would kill that module, because I would just want to say, read a page that says, I am for you. Another tip that I haven't shared that is quite useful is this element can be used to pop up, trigger after 10 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute on the site. Most people leave the question saying something like, message me if you've got a question. I prefer to flip it and say, how long does it currently take you to generate banners? That leaves the user to reply, but it puts them in a situation where you've asked them a question. So you can increase engagement by doing that. It's not a bad landing page. It needs some refinements. And because this looks slightly later stage, I don't know for sure, but I get that instinct just because the level of professionalism. Increasing conversion for you will have big impact on revenue, obviously, because if people join, they join for life. You're potentially talking about hundreds of pounds per customer. Just a small uplift in conversion is going to make a big difference. So definitely worth looking into. How can you remove the doubt about whether a company will exist in the long term? Yeah, it's really hard when you're new. I would just say that one thing you can do is you show the team and their history, you know, like the credibility through the team. You can show any guarantees that that company might have, any organizations they belong to. So yes, being a young company can undermine the kind of strength of your message. I think you don't want to. Some people present things as side projects, and that's interesting because it's very personal and it can resonate with an indie maker, but an enterprise company is not going to buy a side project tool. So that is a good question, and it's something to think about. Another point on that is if you haven't got any testimonials, you need to get your product in the hands of someone. And if you want to do that, I've got a Notion board with 100 ideas for your first 100 users. Follow me on Twitter and I'll link to it there. Any more?
So last two, we've got one from Mukhtar, which is newny.io. NEWNY.io.
N for November.
Correct. EWNY.io.
Did it load?
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, Uni. I think it might be New York, something New York based, maybe. Not sure. Instant, meaningful interactions between host and attendees. Build relationship with your attendees and continue the conversation post-event. So interesting. So it looks like it might be something that integrates with a tool like the one we're using now to kind of manage the end of the webinar into the new relationship. So that does interest me as a person, but that is just a generic illustration and has no meaning. You have no testimonials and you've got an inconsistent call to action. Do you want me to book a meeting with you or book a demo with you? I know they sound like the same thing to you, but to the user, it's not quite right. A user-friendly way to engage your audience, allow attendees to instantly ask anonymous questions during the event. Is this real-world events then? Maybe the founders well, they must be in the group, but is this real-world events? Because most tools already have the question and answer functionality baked in. Okay, so this could be linked to the fact that after the event itself, you could actually segment those people to see if it had a impact on conversion or sales, which I think is very important. I'm not quite sure what you do, and maybe you're not because you might be very early stage. It's not New York, I don't think, you're based in Leicester. But what I would say is that there looks like there's an idea here. Can you maybe be a bit more explicit about it and a bit more explicit about what I'm getting when I hit book a meeting, which I assume is a Calendly? Okay, fine. So this is a Calendly. This call is about you. Mukta will join you to discuss how Uni fits into your events and how using. Okay, it's a bit weird that you say it's about you and then it's about Uni within the first sentence of the second paragraph. Maybe just focus on understanding them better. I think you've got some good ideas here, but there's not a lot of finesse in how they all hang together. My suggestion to you is get on some customer calls, reach out to people on LinkedIn, reach out to people in Facebook groups, on Twitter, on subreddits, on podcasts that fit into your buyer persona, get 15 interviews done and learn about the product you need to make for this persona.
Okay, final one. I'm going to do Prasant, who has posted quite a few times. So let's do your one as the final one.
Spamming works.
Spamming works. Yeah. Okay, so I think this isn't. It's a prototype, so I don't know what it's going to look like. But if we go to bit.ly.
Oh yeah, I think I've got it, but it won't see the paste. So yeah, you'll have to tell me bit.ly.
Yeah. /3754 UGT.
3754 UGT. Are we about to get rickrolled?
I don't know what's about to appear.
It's Santa Claus toy drive at Tonic Room tickets. Is this right? Event ended. I think I've got the wrong one. Sorry. Can you go again? bit.ly
3754 UG capital T, if that makes a difference.
I think it does, the capital.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to Figma now, which seems a bit more like it.
I think that's probably
Job shine. Is it job shine? Let's have a look if they answer. Hopefully they haven't left yet. Okay, great. This has been really fun, everyone that's left. Well done. You're marathon people like me. I had to have a lie down after this, but it is, thanks for joining. I do really enjoy it. And thanks for having me.
People still strong.
Sorry, say it again.
34 people still here at the end of the marathon.
We'll be here to the end of the year. Right, okay. Job shine, job seeker, employer. Interesting, right? So immediately I can tell you 2 landing pages when you have a marketplace. You've got the person looking for a job and you've got the person offering a job. Do not try and appeal to both of them on the same page. It's going to really confuse people. So this seems to be like the employer page, which is because it's saying best place to hire frontline staff. Sign up now to get $20 worth of free credits. Best place to hire frontline staff is very a big statement to make with no subheading about your functionality or your credibility or your skills or anything there to back it up. So it seems very salesy, but I do like the idea of using a discount to get people on board to your system, especially if it increases conversion, because ultimately if conversion increases, we save money on our ad spend, or we spend the same and get more users. So one-stop hiring solution, we automate your hiring from beginning to end. So maybe that's a better heading. So how do you do it? You post a job, you sit back and relax. Our bot will automatically shortlist the candidates, qualified and shortlisted candidates. Okay, cool. I need a bit more of your secret sauce here. What makes you unique? So yes, your bot's going to shortlist, but can you give me a little bit more, like break that process down a little bit more? I think you're on the page actually. Attract. Okay, so you're based in Singapore and you're focused on Singapore. Maybe just put that somewhere. I don't know if you need to, depending on where you're acquiring traffic, but it might just help people in Singapore be like, right, this is for me. This is quite a nice visual. I think what you're saying here is you post with us, we're posting in all of these. If that is the case, think about your ordering of the function, right? So the first thing is you post a job, then JobShine interacts with them. So attract is actually first, automate is second, and hiring is third. Think about the sequence that the user goes through. So my thing based on this is that you exist already, is my guess, but you're not doing it as a digital solution potentially. Maybe you don't, but I'm wondering what these logos are. So what you really need is a landing page for potential customers, users, candidates, I should say. But I do like the use of all of these logos. I just think you need to use transparent PNGs because the white on gray looks horrible. And I also think that you need to maybe say we've placed X thousand candidates. That would be a good way to use quantification to say, you know what, we're good at this, we've done this, we've got these expertise. So changing the order and the sequence. And then this is your call to action. You have one there. Of course, this is a Figma, so I don't think it goes anywhere at the moment. But what am I really signing up to? And if it's just you want my email and phone number or my email and name, why not just put those fields there? Why do I click sign up now to go to another form? So it does depend on the length of the form, but often I'll say you don't need a whole new page because a click, people drop off. If you look at a funnel, you'll see 100 people visit here, 96, like I say, disappear. And what's happening is they're not clicking the call to action. So think, can I embed that form? But this is a lot of choices as well. I would maybe focus on free and put the search, SMS and banner ads into those packages. I think you're just giving me too many choices. And my instinct is to be like, oh, simpler. People are very flighty. They don't know you yet, and they don't really care enough to translate a large block of text into something for them unless they've got a really urgent problem, in which case you probably just want a phone number at the top. So that's my thoughts on JobShine. Nice to do one in Figma. Nice to see something like that. I should just say to everyone who made it, you must go to roastmylandingpage.com/blog if you want more tips. I don't care about people visiting my blog. It's nice. I'm not trying to promote it, but I'm sad that I didn't get to everyone, and there will be some tips there. Also, you guys will be able to watch this back or something.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to watch it back. So if you were roasted, you can come in, pause, and if you weren't, you can use it to help you. And there is an offer. So traditionally, the roasts are £149. They're a bit longer, and I do a call as well, so we can actually talk through. And there's a special offer, which is you can get £49, whatever, off, which is I'm really happy to offer to people that, especially if you stayed this long and you didn't get your roast. I would love to have a look at your pages, basically.
Thank you, Olly. I think everyone will agree that was really, really useful. So many good tips. Well done to the 27 people that have lasted all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's impressive, right?
And as Olly said, yeah, $49 off for everyone who attended today for more Olly roastings, if that was for you. And we'll send over the slides and links to all of Olly's websites, etc.
Awesome. Thanks.
From you, Olly?
Sorry?
Any final words before we
I thought you said high five, and I was just going a virtual high five. I was styling it out, right? Look, it's not difficult. Try different things, put it live. Thanks so much for joining. I do really care about people's startups because so many people have really so much passion, and it's about how you articulate that and make that into business value. So I really value it. The opportunity really to share, and I'm not here to sell or anything like that. I just wanted to help people today. So thanks for setting it up. I really appreciate it.
It looks like you just got a sale there from Adam.
Yeah, I saw it. Really great. Oh, Kripali. Okay. Yeah, I know Kripali. I think I know her. Right. Yeah. So what do I do now? Do I hit exit?
Yeah, I'll stop the broadcast now, and hope everyone has a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olly.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.